Tonight on DC News Now, terrifying moments when a student is shot inside a Maryland high school. The latest in the Montgomery County investigation as another student was arrested. Plus, a huge headache for commuters and concern that the road would give way.
Potentially this whole road was super unstable and could have collapsed in on itself.
A crack in an abandoned sewer pipe prompting safety concerns and crews to make repairs.
And we're tracking a warm-up as we look ahead towards your Tuesday. Will this be sticking around for the rest of the week? That answer coming up.
Multiple measles cases broke out in the DMV. We take you where those cases were confirmed. Plus, a walk for peace.
And peace is something that always begins from within.
Where Buddhist monks are in their 2,300-mile journey and their message of peace. Breaking news out of Montgomery County, Maryland. 4 people were hurt after an assault and a stabbing at the Silver Spring Metro Station. Good Monday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. Chris Flanagan and Susan Train of the night off. 3 people suffered traumatic injuries and were sent to the hospital. Now, this is according to the fire department. Details are limited right now, but authorities say this happened around 6 o'clock tonight at the station, which is along Colesville Road. We're told 1 person refused to be treated. This is a developing story. Of course, stay with us on air and online at dcnewsnow.com. And we're also tracking developing news out of Montgomery County today, this time in Rockville. A student was shot inside of Wootton High School today, prompted the campus to lock down. Police just wrapped up a press conference with new details about a half hour ago. Our Yamari Sase joins us live. Yamari, we know a suspect is in custody. Both the victim and the suspect are 16 years old. What else have we learned?
Yeah, as you mentioned, they just wrapped up that press conference, and we did learn today that the victim and the suspect are both 16-year-old boys as well, and the investigation is still ongoing, so there's still a lot of missing information that we're waiting to hear from police. Hopefully tomorrow they say they will put out additional details, but we do know that they don't know what led up to the shooting as of right now, but that victim is in stable condition in a hospital. The authorities are working with the state's attorney's office to determine what charges could be placed in this investigation with that teen suspect. And police also confirmed that they are still searching the school for evidence because right now they still have not found the weapon used in this incident. Now, police say the incident happened around 2:15. That's when they responded to the scene, when officers responded to Wootton High School. When they arrived, they found a 16-year-old boy who had been shot. He was quickly transported to the hospital, and the suspect, also a 16-year-old boy, was taken into custody a short time after. Now, police say the school resource officer that was assigned to the high school was currently not there. He was working at another school at the time that this happened, but Rockville police was able to respond to the scene pretty quickly. Now, the school remained on lockdown for several hours, and parents were definitely anxiously waiting to be reunited with their children.
It was kind of shocking, so I was just trying not to say anything. I immediately grabbed my phone to text my brothers and my parents.
The worst experience ever. My heart is broken. How could a kid get into this situation of pulling a trigger to another kid? It's beyond any comprehension, other than just, we need to give love to our kids.
Now, school officials did say that school will reopen tomorrow. They will be sending out information to parents to determine the details around what time, and I'll provide them with more additional details surrounding today's incident. Now, the superintendent also mentioned that they have been looking at a pilot program about an AI weapon detector. They were looking to place it in 3 other high schools in the area. It didn't include Wootton High School, but now after today, it's definitely going to be brought up and talked about a little bit more to determine whether it'll be a good fit for the community. For now, reporting in Rockville, Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Yamari. Meantime, Montgomery County's executive Mark Elrich released a statement saying, in part, our thoughts are with the Wootton students, faculty, and their families during this distressing time. Incidents like this are frightening for all involved. Student safety is our highest priority. All right, we'll certainly stay on top of that. Time now, 9:04. Chief Meteorologist Jackie Lairs here with Hey, we're starting the work week off with some good news.
Yeah, and that good news is a warm-up is on the way. Yeah, I think everyone's excited about that, especially to get, rid of all this snow and ice that is still
It's
sticking
been an
around.
unwelcome visitor.
I know.
It's just not going away.
It has just lingered for way too long. So hopefully tomorrow, with the high temperatures expected to climb into those upper 40s and even some 50s on the map, yeah, at least that should melt away some of that ice. Now, in terms of the temperatures out there right now, though, we are hovering at least right around 30 in D.C., as well as Leesburg. Some other areas, though, already sliding back into those 20s. So overnight tonight, it's going to be another cold one, but at least those winds are calm. It's not going to be like what we had over the weekend, thankfully. But wind chills at the moment are into those mid to upper 20s for much of the region. Upper teens up towards Hagerstown, and those overnight lows tonight, upper teens to lower 20s. So it's going to be a colder start out there tomorrow morning. But like I mentioned, it's going to be relatively calm. So wind chills not as drastic as we look towards the rest of the day tomorrow. Back in those upper 40s to low to mid 50s. We're looking at those upper 40s in D.C. by about 3 p.m. under a mix of sun and clouds. And we have more of a southerly wind allowing for those temperatures to warm up. But look at those high temperatures expected for tomorrow. Seeing a lot more of those 50s just south and west of the city. Closer towards D.C. though, right into those upper 40s. But more details on if this does stick around for the rest of the week. It's all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Jackie, thanks. The star witness in the Au Pair affair double murder trial in Virginia is set to be sentenced on Friday. Juliana Perez Magalhães, the family's Brazilian au pair, took the stand detailing accounts of Brendan Banfield's plot to kill his wife and another man. She also spoke about her affair with Banfield and their plans to have kids together. She faces up to 10 years in jail after taking a deal to plead guilty for manslaughter and in exchange for her testimony against Brandon. The jury found him guilty of his wife Christine and Joseph Ryan's murder earlier this month. His sentencing is set for May. New tonight, D.C.'s Office of Police Complaints say that they received the highest number of complaints in the agency's history. More than 1,000 complaints during fiscal year 2025. Nearly 2,000 allegations of misconduct among those complaints, and it's harassment that make up a majority, 51%. That's followed by inappropriate language or conduct at 22%. Unnecessary or excessive force complaints were among 15% of allegations. And male officers were the subject of 81% of complaints. Female officers, 19%. 24% of sworn members are women, according to a 2024 police report. DC News Now is your local election headquarters, and voters in Fairfax are headed to the polls tomorrow to decide who will replace State Senator Adam Ebbin. This comes after the primary last month, and voters will pick between Democrat Elizabeth Bennett Parker and Republican Julie Lindberry. Bennett Parker previously served in the House of Delegates, and Lindberry, she served on Alexandria's electoral board. Polls will be open tomorrow from 6 a.m. through 7 p.m. One of your top stories today out of the district, concerns crept in today that part of busy 14th Street could collapse. How? A crack in an abandoned sewer tunnel. The northbound lane had to be closed in order to start making repairs. It could be lengthy. DC News Now's Marielle Carbone tells us how much of a safety issue the problem is right now.
The road closure and work is necessary because DC Water says that sewer tunnel is cracked and cars driving on the roadway could potentially cause it to collapse.
Never a dull day in DC.
For Jake Weidman, the reason for this construction scene outside his apartment building came as a surprise.
Still sort of just thinking about it in general.
According to DC Water, an ancient sewer tunnel abandoned for 50 years is putting 14th Street Northwest at the risk of collapsing.
It is kind of wild to think that potentially this whole road was super unstable and could have collapsed in on itself.
So we had a water main break in this area, and at that time we discovered that the century-old brick-lined sewer tunnel here that had been abandoned had not actually been sealed up at the time.
Sherry Lewis is with DC Water and says the agency then did an inspection of the tunnel.
And we did a CCTV inspection of the pipe and discovered a 70-foot linear crack in the crown of this pipe.
These photos show the inside of the tunnel.
With this sewer pipe compromise, having heavy vehicles going over it puts it at risk of collapse.
DC Water immediately closing the northbound lane between L Street and Thomas Circle while it gets to work.
So basically what we're going to do is what they should have done more than 50 years ago, and that is just pump a bunch of concrete in here to essentially stabilize everything. Concrete needs a certain temperature to be able to cure, and the temperatures right now are not necessarily cooperating with us, so we think now that we'll be able to start that work on Wednesday.
I hope it's fine and they fix it up. They're clearly out here working.
And weather pending, the goal is to have this project complete by the end of this week. Reporting in Northwest DC, I'm Arielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Concerning stuff indeed. Turning our focus to a health alert that we first brought you last night. Officials say that they have discovered several confirmed cases of measles in the district. Confirmed cases apparently date back to January the 21st. The latest reported exposure last Monday, February the 2nd at Children's National Hospital. Other potential exposure locations include Catholic University, at the National March for Life rally and concert, plus Metro's Red and Yellow Line, Amtrak, and at Reagan National Airport. Meantime, Virginia health officials are also confirming a measles case. They say the affected person was at Reagan National Airport and took the Red and Yellow Line on January the 26th. They were also at Heathcote Health Center January the 29th. If you or anyone you know has been exposed, you're asked to contact your doctor. For more information, go to dcnewsnow.com. An official from the Trump administration is now recommending people take the measles vaccine. That's CMS Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz, warning Americans about rising measles cases. As of the latest CDC reporting out Thursday, there are 733 measles cases in the U.S. so far this year. Dr. Oz says his agency covers measles shots through Medicaid, the Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP, and the Health Insurance Marketplace. New video tonight out of Arlington as a group of traveling Buddhist monks are walking throughout the DMV. This was taken around 5 p.m. in the Ballston neighborhood in Arlington. A video taken after they stopped in Alexandria earlier today. They've walked across the country for more than 100 days, if you can believe it. Hundreds of folks came out to one street corner in Old Town to support their message. Our Randy Bass has the latest on the Walk for Peace, ending soon up the road in D.C.
Yes, there was quite the massive turnout across Northern Virginia today to see these monks both in Alexandria and here in the Pentagon City area, spreading their message of mindfulness and peace, bringing people together from near and far. After 107 days and a 2,300-mile trek from Texas to Virginia, Buddhist monks on their walk for peace can almost see the finish line in D.C. Venerable Bhikkhu Panakara sharing his message of mindfulness in front of a crowd of hundreds Monday.
We are way too busy chasing because this world is spinning so fast, right? When it's spinning so fast and we try to chase after it because we are afraid that we will be left behind.
Hundreds of thousands of people have followed their journey on social media along the way, some traveling thousands of miles to Old Town Alexandria Monday to see them in person.
I went home to Australia, packed this bag, jumped on a plane, and started following them from earlier in Virginia. If we want peace, we have to be peace, and I just want to support that message.
I feel like if they can do 2,300 miles for that, I could do something. And this doesn't feel like enough, but I don't know what else to do.
People tell us they're resonating with the monks' message of unity during turbulent times.
Don't let anybody control us. Don't let material control us. Instead, we should know how to manage our emotion and feelings. And peace is something that always begins from within.
Now the monks, they are moving farther north into Arlington toward Marymount University for the night. That is where they will stay over for the evening before waking up and continuing their journey into Washington, D.C. tomorrow morning with the ultimate goal of ending up right at the White House. In Arlington, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Getting their steps in and sharing their message. To view a live tracker of where the monks are as they are headed toward the White House, go to dcnewsnow.com.